Hello everyone, welcome back to Plumber Parts. Today we're going to look at the mysteries of the pipe bender. I'm going to show you how to bend a 90-degree bend with 15mm pipe before moving on to showing you 3 different types of offset using a multiplier technique to make sure you get your offset measurements right every time, before doing a full passover of this ITS truck, a mini crossover as well as if you're going over small pipe, before getting my wife in to come in and learn how to do an offset with me to prove that the method works. All the tools that I use in this video you'll be able to find in our Amazon store. Click on the links below and there'll be a song at the end selected by the AL Army crew. Anyway, let's get on with this week's video. Remember, you can visit the Plumber Parts interactive house to learn more about the plumbing in your own home. Hold tight. So the first thing I'd say you should do is actually get your guide. Now some of you are going to say this is butchery, you should never do anything like this to your tools, but it's just one of those little things you can do that makes your life a little bit easier. And what you do is just very lightly just grip it in a vise, just like so. Grab yourself a set square with a ruler on it. Now you don't have to do the actual cut mark straight away like I have, and then just mark your centimetres all the way down just like so, okay? And to make sure that they don't ever disappear, once you're happy that you've got them in the right place, I just score mine in like that. And to indicate which end is the right end, pop one on there like that, and then you'll know that's always the right end. And if you want, you can do that on the other side as well. And then I'll just paint these in a bit. So all we've done there is just mark every centimetre all the way up our guide. This will just come in handy for later and won't affect the guide's ability to nice and neatly bend our copper pipe where we need it. Like I said, some of you are going to think that's butchery, but it's quite nice to just have those markings down there. It's just an additional ruler. So the next thing I want to do, and this is combating wastage, and wastage tends to happen actually on the most easy bend that we've got, which is the 90, because sometimes what we're doing, we're coming down a wall, we're bending a 90 and we're going over to a piece, and sometimes you find that you get a lot of wastage when that happens. And the way to get around wastage is to know exactly what your pipe bender is doing. Very, very difficult not to know what's going on if you don't know what it's actually doing. So let's find out. And the way to do that is very, very simple yet again. We can just get a square on the end like this, mark 1 inch, 2 inch, 3 inch, and we've got our marks on there. Now I know that we're learning and you guys are seeing this on a vise, and that's an unrealistic prospect when it comes to working on site, but it's a very, very good way of me showing you how this actually does work. Now let's pop it in on here, and we're going to put that mark on there, okay? Going to pop our former in and just... And now what we're going to do is pull a 90-degree bend, and we're going to see exactly in inches, and you can convert that over to centimetres if you want, how much pipe is used when we do that. So let's have a look. So now we're just going to pull 90 degrees. Just going to pull that round to there. Oh, got to cut a bit off. Cut this just here. Now, funny thing with these benders, they never show an actual 90 on here. Right, a little handy tool that might come in handy for you in your early days of doing pipe bending, and it's actually quite handy just to have in the van or whatever anyway, or if you're teaching your apprentice. So what you want to do is go and print out one of these. This is a protractor, it's 180 degree, cut it in half like it is now, and then pop it like that, so you've got one side like that, and then one side like that. Make sure they're nice and as accurate as you can. Get them so they're stuck together. Now, what I'm going to do, because my wife is a stationary lunatic, for some reason I've got a laminator. I know most of you aren't going to have laminators out there, but you know, it's one of those things. So I've just cut this little bit out here, whap it in my laminator, and while we're at it, I've got a good joke for you. What do you call a baby sheep wrapped in cling film? Laminated. So now the great thing is because these don't tend to have a very good 90 over the top of them, we've got our piece here that we can just lay over the top of this if we like, and know when we've pulled ourselves a nice 90. Just have to hang your head over the top, and as you can see, that still needs just a little bit more to do it. And there we go, we've got a 90 there. We can now pull this out. And the really good thing about this is that now we've got an accurate measurement of how many inches it takes to sweep that 90. So we're looking at about just over 3 inches, so probably about 3.5 inches altogether, but that is us getting to know what our bender can do. Right, so let's talk about offsets. Let's do that now. Offsets are probably the harder ones to do. So you need to remember, and you need to get these into your head, a couple of formulas that are going to help you when it comes to bending offsets, and these will also help when it comes to doing a long crossover. So a long crossover for me is not just stepping over a pipe, but maybe stepping over a jutting out piece of wall, something like that, where you've got a little bit further to go. Think of it like this. Most of the time, if it's quite a shallow bend, we're going to be doing a 30-degree bend, which means we times by 2. If we're doing a 45-degree bend, we times by 1.4, and if we're doing a 60-degree bend, we times by 1.2. You might be like, what the hell is he on about? What's all this timesing stuff? This is such a good trick, guys, and if you don't know it, it's going to change the way you do offsets, okay? But we'll talk about it just after this very quick break. The ITS end of tax year event ends on the 29th of March. With loads of products for both trade professionals and DIY enthusiasts alike, next day delivery when you order from 7 p.m. and the ITS price promise, plus over 17,000 5-star Trustpilot reviews. Oh my God. If you spend over £100 excluding VAT and use the code plumberparts truck at checkout, you will get this RC monster truck worth £47.99. Remember, use the code plumberparts truck at checkout. Now let's get back on with this video. So say we want to offset over something that is this thick. So let's just put that down on the table there. All right, if I do this and push that down, we then get an accurate measurement of what depth it is that we want to set over. Now I've measured it already and it's 42 millimeters. What I want to do for this, because I've got quite a nice, it's not a very deep amount, I've got quite a nice little run going up to it, I'm going to do a 30-degree set for this. Now remember what we said, 30 degrees we times by 2. So we're doing a 42 millimeters, that's 42 millimeter times by 2 equals 84 millimeters. So let's get a piece of pipe, pop it in here, and say we want to start our set, say we've got a jointed pipe and we want to start our set 10 centimeters in from the end. Can do that quite easily now, can't we, with that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bring our piece around to here, pop that in there like so, pinch it up. 84 mil was our full spread. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and a half. But let's pull our first 30 degrees. Let's do that now. Now, if you want to, you can start off by just laying this on here, if you like. Lay that on there, and you'll get a nice accurate idea as when we get to 30 degrees. So here we go. Let's pull it. Then we'll just let that spring back a bit. That's about 30 degrees there, but you'll start to realise that underneath, we've actually got markings for 30 degrees. The problem is you don't always want to use these because the bottom can move. We need to really just work with this piece here. So that's our 30 degrees there. We've got our mark here. Make it so your mark goes all the way around the pipe. Pop that in there. Pop this in there. Nip it up if you like. Lay this straight on here and then look to see if the pipe is parallel with that. So we're just going to twist that up a little bit. And then we'll pull our bend. Now I'm going to look just under here, like that. But we can also lay this on top and say, oh, and then that will just spring back a bit to our 30 degrees. Have a little look at it. And then the creme de menthe moment, bop. There you go, exactly where we want it. Tiny, maybe just a tiny bit more of one of these bends could have, but that is exactly where we want it. And that will go up nicely, just like that, okay? Brilliant. But to prove that this works, that we've got all this exactly how we want it, why don't we try a deeper bend that's going to require more of a degree of an angle of bend. Now this is, because we're doing a more of a degree of angle of bend, you're going to need to be more accurate, or at least a lot more careful about how far you pull that bend. Why don't we bend over the truck? Let's bend over the ITS truck, shall we? So there's the ITS truck there. Let's get bending over that. So because this is going to be a steeper bend, we're going to do a 60 degree on this. It's down on its springs. Let's put it there, yeah? Okay. So the measurement there is 152. So that's 152 times by 1.2. Get your calculators out, girls. Equals 182.4. Now sometimes I like to do a lot of the measuring that I'm going to do inside this, because it just holds the pipe in a nice easy going position. Oh bloody hell, keep doing that. Remember, swing this round to here. And then we can nicely lock that in. I don't think we're going to get quite enough on this to get to 182. So there's our 182 mark just there. Remember this time we're bending 60 degrees, so we're going to go quite a long way. So we look around, that's all the way around to here. All right, so let's just pull that round now. 60 degrees. So remember what I did earlier on. Now all we need to do is mark this further round. Pop that in there. Get that right at the front. Straight edge. Make sure that's okay. Bend that up a bit. Let's pull it. Now I'm trying to see if I get that. Then that will set back a bit. You can always see the pipe relaxes back a little bit. So pop it down, pop. Hell yeah! Beautiful. Absolutely lovely bend. Really, really nice. Look at that. There. Wicked. You've just seen there how to do an offset. Hopefully you realise there that the multiplier way of doing this is foolproof. All you need to be able to do is to be able to know exactly what an angle is. If you can make one of these to give you a little bit of a hand, then do. But after a while, you'll be able to just see a lot of your angles. And when you do that, what you'll start doing is you'll start marking the side of your bender to do that sort of thing. One thing I would say is quite a good idea is to maybe mark the multipliers on your bender itself. And if you've got those written like there on that, you're not going to forget them, okay? So let's do a passover over the top of that truck, shall we? One of them. And then we'll do a single pipe passover as well, which you might well have to do in the future. So what do we have? The truck height earlier on was 152. 45 degree bends for this one here, all right? So that's going to be times 1.4. 152 times 1.4 is 212 apart this time round. So this is going to be quite a big old spread. So let's get our bit of pipe up. Now what you do when you're doing a bend like this, measure the width of the thing you're trying to go over first. So that'll be the width, this width here. And when I measure that, pretty much getting 300 mil. Now I'd say, usually what you're going to do with this, if it's one end of the pipe or not, something like that. But what we'll do, we're going to get this and we're going to make our first mark. So we're doing a 45 this time, aren't we? And we said that our distance wants to be 212. So from here, 200, 212, like that. We're putting a 45 degree bend. Look, we got it there, 45. And let's just do this again for you. 152 times by 1.4 equals 212. That's the distance from there to there. So let's put our 45 now. And if we want, just like we did earlier, we can lay this on top. And we're in line with this. The pipe sticking out of here is what we're in line with. You can bring that up to around here. Just keep that. As this comes around, just eye it in, eye it in. I'd say there we're at about 45 degree angle there. But before we bend this piece here, let's measure out our 300, which is the length of the car. Put that on there like that. 300 is there. Now we've got that, but now we can just get the rest of this bend done. Remember, we're doing an offset up like that. Lock her in, bring it. Remember what we've done in the past. Put this like that, twist this up. Make sure we got that nice and straight. Nice and parallel between there and there. And let's pull it round. Get this on here again if you want. And then move it up as we're here. Let's move it up. About 45 there. It might not look like 45 from your camera angle, but it definitely is. Now we've got our other mark here. This is the end of the truck. Pop that in there, and we're going to do exactly the same as we did earlier with our first bend, just like so. And our measurement was 212, wasn't it? This is where it gets difficult because we've got our eye all the way down here now. Not very easy to do. Sometimes you'll find guys if you're doing a really, really accurate bit of bending, you can use a ruler this big and see if that's flat. Now you could go like that. Tell you what, that is not too far off. Beautiful. Let's pull our bend again, 45 degrees. This will be a tetchy one to do because we're on the end of the pipe. Now, sometimes when you get to this sort of stage with your bending, so you can sit that on there now. Nice long ruler. So close. So close, man. Blind man would be pleased to see that, as my old man would say. And we'll pull that last 45. You'll see sometimes the further you go, you'll start to flatten out the pipe. So you don't want to keep going too far. This is a hard one to see. So what we're going to use to see through the end of our former, that'll be what the end of our guide. That's going to be what tells us that we're almost at that 45-degree angle. There we go. Beautiful. So yeah, really happy with that. What a waste of pipe that was. Well, look, let's do a Passover just to finish off, and then you can see how exactly we do that. So we're going to pull by eye a 60. So let's just pop that in here now. So let's pull that 60 round. So that's about 45 there, and then a 60, probably about 60 there. Yeah? Yeah, maybe just a tiny bit more. Let's give it a little more of a nudge look. Let's say we're going to go over this, which is going to be the depth of a clip and a pipe, like that. You see that? Very simple for us to do now, isn't it? We've actually got quite a nice little layout of what's going on here. And pop that on like so. Make sure we've got them roughly horizontal. So this is running all the way through. Make a mark on here. Make a mark on here, just like that. Then we'll pop back to our bender and we get the mark that we made to sit just at the top of the guide here. Or you do that old Apprentice problem and just get that where it should be. Remember what I said? Flat. Make sure these line up. Beautiful. And then what we're going to do, we're going to pull this and we're going to look for this to line up with that line just there. So watch. Look, we're doing that. Same again, just bring that to there. Good. Same again. This will be a lot easier to line up. Just looking for that line up there nicely. And there we go. And there you go, that pops over there nicely just like that. Now this next bit could be a total disaster, but I'm going to get Emily in here, my missus, and see if she can pull. Let's give her an easy, shallow 30-degree offset to do. Those of you who've been on the Owl Army know that I use radios to communicate with her. Emily Bumhead, come in.
Yeah.
Can you just come up here? I just want you to put a 30-degree offset, please, on this video, just so I can prove how easy it is to learn. Why? Well, you're going to need one after doing this, so come on, get up here now. Right, so what we're going to get her to go over, let's get her to go over just a little bit of wood. So here's your pipe. Emily, wave, say hello to everyone. Here's a pipe. This is a pipe bender. Later on, yeah? All right, oh, you know that, do you? Oh, good for you. Lay the pipe in the bender now, so in here, like that. You snap that up, move that to there, and just hold it with your finger or something. Then pop the former over the top, the guide over the top, and then do that. But don't do anything else. So now you know how to do that bit. That's how you load it, okay? All right, so now you're going to do your actual measurement. So you're going to do a 30-degree bend, and you're going to do an offset. This is probably the harder bend to do as an apprentice when you're learning. So here you go, and this is what you're going to do it over. So when you finish, the pipe's going to lay on that flat, but it's also going to lay on that flat. You're going to get something that looks a little bit like that when it's done. Push that down there, like that. Yeah, read that off. What does that read? About 41? 40?
40.
What's 40 times by 2?
80.
80, okay. Right, so get your bit of pipe, pop it in here.
Right.
Get your former. Line that end up with the start of the guide, sort of bit.
What, this?
Yeah, line it up.
Yeah.
Right, and just move this over like that. Now get a pen and just run a mark on there. Which, count back 8 of those. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. Like that there. I'd go a bit further that way if I was you. You haven't marked it quite right. Right, now pull 30 degrees. Where's 30 degrees on this? Just
Yeah.
there. All right, pull that now then. Nice and easy. You don't go. The idea is you don't go too far. You can always add more, but you can't really take it away very easily. Keep going. Use those little muscles and stop. Right, let go, and you'll notice. What do you notice? The pipe just springs back a bit, but not bad. Not bad. That is about 30 there, I'd say. Take this back to here. Pull that out. That's it. Go on, take this off. Now that mark there, just run round the whole pipe now, so it's like a collar. My apprentice. Line that up with that. That's it. Now this is where every apprentice goes wrong here, but don't worry about it. Put the former in. Yeah, line that up. It doesn't really matter now, but
Yeah.
nip that.
Yeah.
Right, think for a sec. What are you going to do if you bend that now? Where's that going to go? It's going to carry on that way, isn't it?
Yeah.
Remember what I said, we were going to try and create something that does something like that.
Yeah.
So at the moment you're like that.
Yeah.
That is bending the wrong way, isn't it?
Ah. So you need
So
to turn
spin it round, yeah, and you,
like that.
yeah.
Okay.
But now how to make sure it's parallel?
Yeah.
You lay that across there. Get down and have a look. You twist it up so it's parallel. That's about it. There, about there. Maybe a bit further up. A bit further. You're still lined up at the top there.
Yeah.
Okay, right. Pull yourself 30 degrees again.
Oh no.
Doesn't matter. Go on, just do it. Right. Whoop.
There.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Take it out. Now it wants to lay on here. It should just lay flat on the thing and flat on the bit. Do you want to have a go? See if it does. Whoa, that's not bad at all for a first go. Well done. That's it. Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
I'll give you a tonguing later. So there you go. Emily's done an offset there, nice and successful. I mean, the thing is, you've seen it just there. It's very difficult, and it was quite nice that she shows there the issue that you get when you are doing offsets is the fact that if you've got these set the wrong way round, rather than do an offset, you just go further around the corner. That was a nice little thing to see, actually. She got it pretty flat as well. So then, guys, Emily's done some bending. I've done some bending. The only thing that in this house today that has not done any bending is the cat. We've done loads and loads of bending today, so hopefully you've learned a little bit about how to do it. Emily did a great little offset earlier on. I'm really, really proud of her. So yeah, there we go. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. I hope you've learned a few little tips and tricks. And even if you're a seasoned plumber, hopefully a little idea like adding a small ruler to your guide or your former, whatever you call it, or also having your actual mathematics just written down on there. This works for 22mm, the mathematics side of things, works for 15, 22mm, any kind of pipe bending. You'll see a lot of electricians use it for conduit bending and all that as well. So there you go. I hope you've enjoyed today's recap plumber parts video. There is a song, hopefully wafting in just now, selected by the AL Army Massive. Oh yeah, guys. So have a wicked time, have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next plumber parts video. Remember to hit the subscribe, join the AL Army for live streams on Thursday and Friday when I record the song. You can watch it being recorded live, and I'll see you in the next plumber parts video. Remember to hold tight. See you soon.
You can be a pipe bender, gay, straight or transgender. Watch this video that I have made you so you can be a pipe bender. It's so funny how my wife never watches when she bends pipes. And remember everybody, it's easier to bend pipes when they're in a bun. It right is a major factor, use a homemade paper protractor. Getting bending around my head is easy when I'm in my lovely little shed. Yo, getting it right is a major factor, use a homemade paper protractor. Get it right.